We're here
Welcome to the podcast.
talking about Noise Audio Show with your host, Art Moore.
And your other host, Eric Hansen.
I know. Good organ solo, right?
I'm going to finish it for you.
Yeah. You can hear the organ solo at the end. It's pretty ballin'.
Well, yeah, of course. I always wait till the very end of the podcast and I listen to the whole thing.
The whole song.
The whole song.
Yeah.
And then I repeat it.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
I fall asleep to it.
I love that organ
to the sound
solo.
of my own voice and your voice.
I love everything I do. Let's just say that. I'm just kidding.
So it's been a busy week.
Oh, man, it's been a busy week.
Like crazy busy.
Lots of mixing, lots of recording, lots of lessons, lots of working out, lots of being sick.
Yeah, that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, but, it happens
sick.
to everybody.
You're kind of like the Debbie Downer.
Yeah, a little bit.
Anyway.
I was listening to last week's podcast, and I was like, man, I really sound sick. So hopefully I don't sound sick, because I don't think I sound, my voice is sicky, but last week it definitely took a hit. It's like, man, I got to record vocals when I'm sick. I got that nice, sexy voice. Anyway.
So I'm on TuneCore, as you know.
Yes.
And this week, I think it was last week, this week, whatever, I got an email and they said, hey, we're pushing this new release out. They're going to do this thing once a month where they push a compilation out of like TuneCore artists. And you have to submit your music, but it has to be brand new music that's being released this month.
Oh, okay.
So I'm taking a look at it. I'm like, the theme is the power of independence.
All right. That's cool.
And they're like, if you release a song within the next 2 or 3 weeks, you can submit it for this compilation. So I dropped everything I'm doing, and I'm writing a new song.
You're writing a new song to release this week. This month.
There's no way I'm going to get it done this week.
Yeah, I meant this month. That's cool.
I started the whole, let's start from the beginning, the writing process. I listened to the last podcast again. I was like, let's get some lyrics going. And I hit a wall. I hit the writer's block.
Oh, no.
And I start playing with the song. I'm like, uh-oh, I don't know what I want to do with this thing.
It's hard. It's hard when you hit that block, but you got to push through it. You got to keep going.
And my finger drumming, I'm coming along.
Dude,
man.
I know. I'm excited. I'm excited to hear.
So for those that don't know,
watch you do some finger drumming. You actually bought a pad
No.
now?
I'm borrowing.
Right.
So I'm borrowing a drum pad. I want to buy one. And it's this
What brand is it that you're borrowing?
Akai.
The Akai.
I don't know how you say that. Akai.
Yeah, Akai.
Anyway, it's the MPD 18. It's got a 16 touch pads, and they're touch sensitive. And so I am finger drumming.
You're just going nuts with it.
And I'm doing drills. I've actually got a new thing where I will play some MIDI clips that I have.
Right.
And I'll try and play along.
Oh, that's cool. That's good.
And then I'll learn, how am I going to play the eighth note on the hi-hat? How am I going to play 16th note on the hi-hat? How am I going to play a double bass drum?
Whoa,
so
dude.
I've got my finger layout, and I kind of tilt it to the side now. So I'm thinking maybe I'll post some videos or something. I don't know.
Yeah, something would be cool,
cool
to see how you're doing that.
So this new song is going to incorporate my finger drumming.
Finger drumming, not to be confused with drumming with your fingers, like you would do on a hand drum.
Tapping on a real drum with your fingers. Anyway, that's what I've been working on this week.
That sounds cool, man.
What about you?
Just finishing up a mix for the band American Suitehearts. They're a new band here in Utah, and I like their sound. It's cool. It's rocky and a little bit punky, but more
pop punk.
No, not really pop punk.
Rock punk. Maybe,
yeah. I'm not a punk guy, so I don't really...
I was going to say, you are the least authority on punk.
Yeah. As far as what of the various niches they belong to, I don't know.
Well, I would say Sibelius' 7th Symphony was fantastic, but Green Day, for real?
All right, okay. I get it. I'm a nerd. Let's move on to news.
Do I get to do now?
That's right, folks. We actually have a sound file for it now. Kanye Watch 2015.
Yay.
That's right.
He's been really busy.
Yeah, he's been doing lots of stuff, but there's an interesting piece of news that was from a little while ago, but I wanted to make sure I brought it up. I just had it here. Where did it go?
He won some awards. He's debuting his new album. He's releasing some new stuff. Busy dude.
Yes, all that's very impressive. All that's impressive. And yes, very important. But the fact that he is planning to very soon collaborate with Taylor Swift herself. I think that's the most interesting piece of news.
I think you've brought on something here. Maybe Taylor Swift is multiple people.
Yeah.
He is playing
basically
with them, not her.
Yeah, possibly. So he, this is a quote from him. Okay,
Great.
I'm down to get down in the studio and work, and this is in reference to working with Taylor Swift. I don't discriminate. I don't have an elitism of music because of like how many Grammys or the amount of ratings you get on an album. I think that everyone loves music, whether they love hip hop, alternative, country, and if I could be involved in giving people any type of energy, advice in the studio, whether you're Beyonce, whether you're Taylor Swift, whether you're Jay-Z, whether you're Beck, whoever, and they can be reciprocal with that, I'd like to be involved with that.
Huh. He's kind of like the girlfriend that just won't go away.
He's the bad girlfriend who won't go away.
He's
That's exactly right.
Calling you up like, hey, we should totally hang out.
We should hang out.
Hey, do you want to go like get some ice cream and stuff? And then you're like,
but then he comes around and he's like, you really should drop a few pounds. You're really heavy. Like he just comes right around.
The condescending.
He's the condescending ex-girlfriend who will not leave you alone.
Boyfriend, girlfriend that won't go away.
Well, I think ex-boyfriend has a different kind of feel to it. I don't think he's quite,
Whatever, Art. Last
abusive.
time you broke up with your boyfriend, I know how that went.
Oh, that's weird. I've been married for 15 years.
I made
I'm
Art
good.
blush.
Anyways, that's our Kanye Watch 2015. That's right.
Okay, so I've got some cool, just two pieces of news today. I thought were very funny. Have you heard about Wu-Tang Clan's latest album?
No.
Okay, so get this. Once Upon a Time in Shaolin is Wu-Tang Clan's one-of-a-kind Cher featuring album, right? Has Cher in it, which I don't know why that's important. Okay, the album's backups have been destroyed. The sole copy is destined to be a museum piece, and it was secretly recorded over the last few years, okay? So this is a top secret musician project.
I don't understand. The backups have been deleted?
This is just going to get weirder, Art. Just wait.
Okay, I'm listening.
It will be sold privately through an online auction house only. And it's been revealed that the album could see a wide commercial release in 88 years. That's the stipulation of buying this album through this auction house.
What?
I know, right? The Wu-Tang Clan said, here's the deal. You can buy our secretly produced album that has no backups whatsoever, but you cannot release it for 88 years. And it gets weirder.
With Cher in it.
I know. Okay, so after 88 years, the album's public and commercial rights transfer to the buyer of the album. Then the buyer can decide whether or not they want to release it. RZA explained, the number 88 has symbolic significance. It's the number of members in Wu-Tang's original roster and the sum of the digits in 2015. Like this whole numerology thing, like 88 has significance.
Oh man, numerology is the worst.
It's the stupidest thing. Okay, it's one of the many perks available to the album's buyer includes deluxe liner notes in the form of 174-page leather-bound book and the first ever look at the album's track list. So you're going to buy it. That's all you get. A 174-page book.
They're selling one copy.
That's it.
That's
one
it.
buyer through an auction house.
The one copy.
Who then, after 88 years, will have the chance to either listen to it or release it.
No. Are you sure they can't listen to it throughout that whole period?
Nope. It is locked away. All you get is the liner notes, the album track list, and the 174-page leather-bound book. I know.
You don't get the actual recording?
Yeah, it's there, but you can't use it. You can't listen.
You can't
to, you
listen
can't do
to
anything
it?
with it for 88 years.
Or you can't release it publicly for 88
You can't
years.
listen to it.
You can't even listen to it?
No, not for 88
Because I didn't
years.
hear any of that in there.
Yeah.
You can't
the buyer
listen to
can
it.
decide whether or not they want to release the LP. Weird, right?
Oh my gosh.
I love it. That
is one of the weirdest pieces
the
of news.
quintessential like artist weirdness. Musicians can get really weird, and I think that's definitely one of them.
Yeah.
Anyway, the other bit of news is there's this band, this kind of poppy alternative band called Matt and Kim. They just released an EP. They're going to be releasing their new album Lightning here shortly, which maybe we'll use that as the pick of the week here soon.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
So I'm reading this article about them. I've known about them for a while. They released an album clear back in like 2006, 2007, something like that. They actually got signed. They had some artists work with them. They went and recorded over 90 songs and then just picked the 10 best songs that they would release on this album.
Oh, wow. That's
I know,
cool.
a lot of work, but I'm like, that's cool.
That's
be fun.
cool.
So listen to this. They're talking about how they were playing the Bonnaroo Music Festival in 2013.
Okay.
I thought this was hilarious. Okay, quote, Matt and Kim began to fear for the crowd's safety. The duo was playing under a large tent. Thousands of restless fans had gathered around the perimeter, and the drummer Kim thought it would be cool to get them more involved in the show. Quote, she says, about 3 songs before the end, I want anyone who is outside the tent to feel free to crowd surf their way to the front. And then her boyfriend, who was also the bandmate, Matt, says, civilization crumbled. I thought everyone was going to die. There were hundreds of people crowd surfing. No one was hurt, but in that moment, the duo were terrified. And that's when she says, in that moment, I just realized I had messed up.
Yeah, that was not a good idea.
Not a good idea. So I've actually been through something like that, where the band was like, everybody, crowd surf. And sure enough, like, you jump on top, and it's chaos.
Oh, man.
Fun, but chaos.
Oh, I'm just too old. I don't think I've ever not been young enough to, like, want to do that.
To crowd surf?
Yeah.
It's definitely, I mean, it's not in style anymore. I remember in the 90s,
It was huge.
every single
Yeah.
show had the mosh pit and the crowd surfing.
Yeah.
And the crowd control venues have cut that out.
Yeah, definitely.
I was at a Warped Tour where they kind of had a little moshing area. It was like the designated, you can mosh here.
Was it like in a foam pit or something?
I know, and I was like, that's not rock and roll.
It's not rock and roll.
But
You've institutionalized it.
no, I remember I went to it was a Bush concert back in high school. And you would have thought, like, it was in Idaho, so we were so excited for that. You would have thought it was like the president or something visiting. I mean, people were going nuts. Everyone was rushing the stage. You know, the whole floor was moving up and down. It was insane,
gosh.
but it was fun.
Yeah.
So anyway,
That is pretty scary.
I thought that was hilarious. All right, do you got any news, Art?
No, I just want to go back to this Wu-Tang thing because I'm just
Confusing, right?
from what I'm reading here, it says if the public rights were handed over now, then this would be a record deal like any other, not the sale of a single copy. It can be exhibited publicly, and it can be given away for free, but it cannot be commercialized as a conventional album release until 2103.
There we go.
So it just will be interesting. We'll see.
2103.
2103.
That is a long time away.
88 years? Like,
Well, yeah, that's when they were like, 8 has significance to me.
I'm just wondering, like, who lived 88 years ago? You know, is it the beginning of the... How long ago was that? 1930s?
Math alert.
1930s, right? 1920s, 1930s, and around that area?
No, wait. Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
So right around
20,
there.
Late
So
20s, something like that.
we're what? Finishing up the Great Depression, and Great Depression was 1929.
That would be someone, probably my grandparents' age, going and buying a popular album right now and loving every minute of it.
a popular album right now.
Yeah.
A popular album from then.
No. Oh, yeah. I guess.
So,
you're right.
like the
Yeah,
rock
that's kinda
stars of
weird.
the music world were like Charles Ives.
I'm just weird that you even know that.
Yeah. So, weird stuff.
I know. Anyway, so I've decided the Swoop is going to release an album, but no one is going to be allowed to touch it for 102 years because 100 years has significance to me, and it will be my second album. Hence,
because 1 + 2 is 3.
Yes. That's
and that has meaning.
Yes.
All right, let's move on. I'm done. I'm finished.
Okay, Art. So, songwriting segment today.
Yeah, dude.
We're going to be short and sweet. I took a little time on the lyrics last week. We're going to take a break from lyrics this week.
All right.
Sorry.
Is this still part of the 5-part series that you're doing?
No.
So
we'll continue that next week.
That next week.
Yeah. But anyway, I decided there's been a burning question on my mind. Right? I'm listening to the radio and I'm like, it seems to me like music is far more complicated as far as a production-oriented system than it ever used to be. Even regarding the songwriting, it's been very complicated. Well, let me rephrase. Songwriting has become simpler. The production value has become more difficult. That's what I meant.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And I think what is happening is, so within the songwriting world, right, in order to build the product as a song, you've got the two parts. You've got the songwriting, singer-songwriting, and you have the production. And what I'm seeing is, as far as songwriting itself, right, what am I going to do with a verse, with a chorus? How am I going to structure the song? That's becoming very simple. Mm-hmm. Almost to the point where it's like verse, chorus, end of the song.
Okay.
But the production's insane. Like, it is very, very difficult. So, I thought, let's examine this hypothesis, and let's listen to some examples. So, what we're going to do is, I want to take the song Centuries from Fall Out Boy, and I want us to critique the verse, okay? Listen to everything about the verse that you think would be very complicated from a production standpoint.
All right. Here we go.
Okay, what are you hearing there?
Well, for me, I'm hearing this keyboard instrument, dun 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 dun, right? Yeah. That thing.
So that bass comes in later.
That's definitely coming in. Yeah, the bass comes in through the second half of it. There's a choir. Whoa!
Yeah,
right. In the
heavy
middle.
metal broke my heart.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And then big drums. So big drums, probably supported by samples as well.
Yeah, incredibly loud, super smashed drums,
super compressed. And on top of that, let's see. The bass sounds like it could be a regular bass. It's most likely also supported by a synth as well.
Yep.
Is what I think.
Yeah.
So you've got those, like every instrument is augmented into the electronic side of it as well, not just what they are.
Right. And as far as the vocals, right, taking that heavy metal broke my heart, right?
Yeah.
That's something completely unique, something different. Something that you probably not would have heard of maybe 30 years ago. And we've got an example of something about 30 years ago. We're going to take a look at Twisted Sister. We're not going to take it.
Here we go.
Okay, right off the top of my head, here's some things I noticed. The guitar and the bass are the same from the first half of the verse, second half of the verse.
Yep.
We didn't play a long enough clip on the Fall Out Boy one to really hear some of the differences.
I could hear a difference between the beginning and the end.
You could still hear how they're adding stuff, right? In this, back then, you could get away with a verse that was fairly simple, right? It was this is the chord structure, bass follows along, And the drums really don't change, right?
And they're just hitting every beat.
Yeah,
Boom,
you hit every
chip,
beat
boom,
just
chip,
straight
boom,
on through,
chip, boom,
and you just
chip.
sing along. You may add a few harmonies and stuff on top, but for the most part, melody, you plug along,
Yeah.
right? In the new verse world, you really can't do that anymore, right? It's getting to the point where you have to add stuff. So it's almost the point where you segment your verses into verse A and verse B.
Uh-huh.
And you mitigate some of the instruments on verse A, and then increase it on verse B. You add some lyrical embellishments, some vocal embellishments. You add a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Right? So production value, like mapping the song out and actually adding some of these production things, is getting very complicated.
Yeah. The concepts are simple orchestration concepts, right? So from production value, yeah, they can be complicated. But if you just go from an orchestration thing, like if you think of it as an orchestra, you can think, okay, we're playing the same thing again. What can we do to hold interest at this point? And that's really kind of the concept here. What are we doing to hold interest? And that's really where you get like the kind of the depreciated beginning half and then the appreciated second half.
Yep. And not only that, just some of the different things you do with your lyrics and with your vocals. Okay. Let's take a look at some choruses, okay? Let's go to the Fall Out Boy chorus, which is it's the Centuries one. So let's play it, and then we'll analyze it.
All right.
Okay, what are you hearing?
From a production value, like the, again, the big drums with kind of the support from, I'm assuming samples, or it's very, very, very well recorded, and then EQ'd just to hell and back again. It doesn't sound
right?
It doesn't sound like a natural drum kit, right? It sounds like something
it's not at all
highly processed,
yeah,
or supported with samples or a synth. Yep. And then you've got this great guitar thing happening on both sides, but that's not the only distorted thing. You've got synths on both sides on the stereo image. With that, it's a gritty synth that's supporting those guitars as well.
Yeah,
and that's fun to hear. Lots of extra vocal kind of backup and support there. It's fun.
Also, what I find interesting is you've got the beat at the beginning of the chorus, that just the dun 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 dun, and then you break it out with the full drum kit, right?
Right.
And
so the drums, bringing the cymbals back a little bit,
mm-hmm.
playing on the toms, and then bringing out the full set.
And here's where you have a chorus that has the normal chorus melody, and then at the very end, you're going to end it with your lyrical hook.
Yep.
Remember me for centuries. Also, that voice, that note he holds out, is also synthesized.
Nice.
So I believe they're using a vocoder on that vocal.
Cool.
Kind of give it that. It kind of sounds like it morphs into an instrument towards the end.
Definitely.
Okay, now let's listen to the Twisted Sister song. Now, this chorus, it could also be considered a lyrical hook in a certain sense. Like, this could be the hook of the song because it's very, very catchy. And let's see how this compares. So once again, it's plugging along, right? You're going to hit the ride cymbal, pretty much the same beat, right? You open up the chords on the guitar, you open up the bass, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, not a lot of extra stuff going.
Not a lot of extra.
But in comparison from music that came before it, this is the high production value.
Oh, yeah.
Which is so interesting. I mean, they have a good stereo panning on the guitars. They have great tones on the guitars with these newfangled amps that, like.
All right, this is the 80s, not the 60s. Come on.
Okay, I mean, not the amps that are new, but like even in the 80s, there were advancements in amp technology that, were nice and crunchy. and we're getting that. But it is interesting to hear, from that point to now, like where we're standing from a production kind of look.
And also the most blatant and what should be obvious to everyone is the volume level. Just the level of what you can do with limiters now and how you can scrunch that new music and just push it right into your ears.
Yeah, I actually appreciated that you didn't level correct those samples.
Yeah, I tried not to. I wanted to keep them the same because if you play them straight across, you'll go, huh.
Yeah.
What happened to this song? It's so much.
This song sounds weak.
Quieter.
But that's just, it didn't sound weak. It sounded awesome. And, there's the whole loudness war thing, which I get kind of tired of. For me, like I mixed a band this week and we compressed the heck out of it because that's what the sound was. That's what they needed. And so you just got to go with what you need.
So anyway, I think it's interesting from singer-songwriter perspective.
Yeah. Definitely.
Like having to look at a song now and saying, okay, I've got my verse, I've got my chorus. That's just the first step. I don't stop there. I can't stop at that point and say, I have my song.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And if you're a singer-songwriter and you're like just going to play, you're starting off playing like open mic nights, you have to think of that in your own playing, like with the acoustic guitar, like what are you going to do there to make that interesting or open up, or how are you going to make that work differently?
Yeah, it's all about dynamics.
Yep. And using technology helps with that, but a lot of it is musicianship as well in that realm.
Yeah, totally. Like when we played live, we were so dynamic and awesome.
No, we weren't. We were just loud.
Oh.
Nonstop.
Would that be why no one came to watch us?
One of many, many reasons.
And our bassist took his shirt off and...
I think that was a plus. I think
I'm not sure.
I think that was a draw, not a negative.
Oh, okay. And I wore a tracksuit. No, I wore a jumpsuit. That's what it was. Wore a jumpsuit with a helmet. Anyway.
Yeah, you're a weirdo. All right, here we go. Today, I thought it would be interesting to take a look at a project I'm working on.
I want to learn. I want to sit at the feet of the production master, and I want to learn today.
All right. This is a very, after I made all the samples and I was looking through it, I realized this is a very subtle change. It's very small, but I think that it really kind of shows how different a little change like this can make. When I record vocals, one of the things that I have to do is I have to carve out a space for the vocals. So if you're doing a band, you've got bass, drums, guitar, and sometimes keyboards as well, and then you've got vocals. Well, they all kind of are all over each other frequency-wise. So you have to take some time and really kind of carve out frequency areas for each of those instruments. And the vocals, which tend to be the last one that I mix when I get the band all ready to go, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is rocking, and then I put the vocals in there and they don't fit because they sound like they've been recorded in a nice room and not, recorded with this crazy band with all these different frequency things that have to be figured out. So I took a vocal that this vocalist did from the American Suitehearts, and I gave it to you processed but not EQ'd, and that's what we're going to look at today, the equalization of this vocal. So here it is with no EQ on it right now.
No EQ whatsoever.
No EQ whatsoever, but it is compressed and
Through your eyes and straight through your heart, I look at desire straight from the start. Optimistic with a styled worth, ends in shame, this pride-filled lust in you. You're back against the wall, and nothing more to say. We all know we're better off this way, so
that was recorded here in my studio, and I think it sounds pretty good. But as I started trying to fit it into the mix, it wasn't cutting through, and it wasn't really kind of have its own thing. A small modification to the EQ, I boosted the mids instead of scooping it out like we tend to do with everything, guitars and bass drums and everything. I instead kind of gave it a hill and made it into a mid boost. So here's what it sounds with that mid boost.
Through your eyes and straight through your hearts, I look at desire straight from the start. Optimistic with a styled worth, ends in shame, this pride-filled lust in you. You're back against the wall, and nothing more to say. We all know we're better off this way, so
right there,
Definitely can hear a difference.
you can hear a difference. You got a little more of the mid-high
Was
range. Magic.
Sparkly magic.
You're doing the Shia LaBeouf thing here. Magic. So I have two very short clips where we can listen to the very beginning back and forth. So here they are.
through your eyes and straight through your hearts.
Okay, sorry, that was supposed to be better than it was. But here's the first one, no EQ.
Through your eyes and straight through your hearts.
Here's the second one with EQ.
Through your eyes and straight through your hearts.
Okay, one more time.
Through your eyes and straight through your hearts. Through your eyes and straight through your hearts.
The difference is very, very subtle. But I think it really makes a
It
big
is,
difference.
but your ears get used to it and they need something else. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know, without EQ, that's why mixers are geniuses. And when a mixer doesn't do his job, everyone notices. But when a mixer does his job, everyone's like, "Oh, that's the way it's supposed to sound."
Yeah. When someone comes back with a mix and they're like, "Well, we have all these little tiny things," and I was like, "Yeah, but look at all the things it did right." We don't care about that. We already paid for you for that. Let's get this stuff done.
Come on, give me a pat on the back.
So here it is with the full band with no EQ.
Through your eyes and straight through your hearts. Look at desire straight from the start. Optimistic with a styled worth, ends in shame, this pride-filled lust in you. You're back against the wall, and nothing more to say. We all know we're better off this way, so
Okay, and here it is with the EQ.
through your eyes and straight through your hearts. Look at desire straight from the start. Optimistic with a styled worth, ends in shame, this pride-filled lust in you. You're back against the wall, and nothing more to say. We all know we're better off this way, so
Subtle,
Very subtle.
but wonderful. Succulent and amazing.
Okay. Whoa, easy. This is weird now.
I'm trying to be poetic.
Yeah, you're not. You're just creep man now.
Magic. It was no, that's cool. You know, the subtle differences, I like it.
Yeah. So, as you're EQing your vocals, don't always scoop and go really high on the highs and really low on the lows. Sometimes it's like you've got to give yourself a little hill and make that voice pop out right in the mids, right where everything is.
What's the frequency?
I think
Kenneth?
that was around like 800 and 800 hertz, 1,000 hertz.
Okay.
For me, that's like right in the mid range is where I boosted, and I probably boosted like maybe 5 decibels on that.
Oh wow, that's high.
Yeah, it was pretty high. I've boosted as far as like 16 decibels before. I'm just like, it doesn't sound right. Keep going. Ah, there it goes. Then I copy them all. I copy all of the. Or I grab all of the EQs and bring them all down, so then it's a low shelf,
Right.
instead of a high bump. You've got to do all kinds of crazy stuff to kind of get what you need.
All right, I like it.
But,
mixing arts mixing corner, I love it.
Yeah. That's
Sound
it.
good?
Yeah, that's it, and that's kind of also the recording tip of the day as well. So we'll go with
Right,
that.
boosting your mids.
Yeah, boosting your mids when it's needed.
This is the end, my friend. My
This is
only
the
friend.
end.
The end.
We kind of are our only friends, aren't
That was
we?
Jim Morrison.
No, I'm just kidding.
Or was it? Yeah, that was Jim Morrison.
Okay.
Yes.
The Doors? Or just
The
Jim
end
Morrison?
is the beginning is the end, my
Nice.
friend. That was Smashing Pumpkins. Anyway.
And it's time for our picks of the week.
Yes, picks of the week. Picks of the week.
Boom, boom.
Okay, so this week I've been listening to a lot from the band The Heavy.
This ain't no place for no hero. This ain't no place for no better man. This ain't no place for no hero who come home.
Cool.
and they had an album that came out in '09. I know, it's a while ago. It's not new music. So sue me. But The House That Dirt Built. Anyway, it was the song that was actually the beginning of Borderlands 2.
Yeah, I love that song.
Short Change Hero.
Yeah, that's a good one.
This ain't no place for no hero.
Yeah, for
Anyway,
sure.
I really like it.
Okay,
So,
cool.
Go and buy the album. Support artists.
That's right.
We support artistic artists.
That's right. My pick of the week is a band called Double Fuzz. I think this is what I liked about them is that they're just two guys.
That's why they're called Double Fuzz. Got it.
Yeah, they're just two guys, and they are some freaking awesome blues, like just blues and rock, and it just
It's more like Black Keys type stuff. It's
yeah, but
bluesy rock.
Bluesy, yeah, sure. Isn't that what I just said? Blues rock.
Not just blues. Like
No, not just blues, but there's a heavy blues influence.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very, very heavy. Anyways, they're super fun to listen to, very Black Keysy if you like that kind of stuff, which you should. And go and buy their album because they're awesome.
Yes. So, yeah, friends of the podcast, Black Keys, awesome.
They're not friends of the podcast.
They're totally friends of the podcast. Everyone we like is a friend of the podcast.
All right, that sounds good, man.
Anyway.
I feel like we're stalking everyone.
So, we're stalking Kanye, and he's a non-friend of the podcast.
That's right. Stupid Kanye.
He's the focus of our ire. That's right. I used ire in a sentence.
That was very, very good use of the word ire.
All right. So that's the podcast. Thanks for listening, guys. Talkingaboutnoise.blogspot.com. Send us an email, talkingaboutnoise@gmail.com.
Visit us on Twitter at AERT30 and at I Am The Swoop.
Have a great week and write some music.